2/3 of the large animals in North America died inside the same 5-centimeter band of soil. We have the bodies, we have the weapon, we have the smoking gun. And in 2026, the smoking gun turned out to be a forgery. This is what an actively collapsing forensic case looks like in modern Earth science. The crime scene is the Younger Dryas boundary, a thin, dark sediment layer found at approximately 50 Clovis Age archaeological sites across North America. Beneath it, the bones of mammoths, mastodons, dire wolves, and giant ground sloths. The spear points of the people who hunted them. Campfires, butchery scars on the bones. Above it, none of those things. Nothing. The layer in the middle has a name in the literature. It's called the black mat. The case file has been open since the 1960s. For most of that time, the working theory was a fragmented comet that struck or detonated above the Laurentide ice sheet 12,900 years ago, triggering continental fires, atmospheric darkening, and the abrupt cooling of the Younger Dryas. The lead suspect had been identified. The evidence locker was full. The case looked solvable. It's now, in 2026, no longer solvable in that way. The forensic chemistry that built the case against the comet has just been challenged by a different forensic chemistry that points somewhere else entirely. To understand what changed, you have to understand what was actually in the dirt to begin with. The black mat is the primary scene. At a site called Sheridan Cave in Ohio, researchers extracted samples from the layer and from the soil directly beneath it. The compound they were looking for is called levoglucosan. Levoglucosan is the modern forensic marker for biomass combustion. It's produced almost exclusively when cellulose burns. The layer beneath the black mat at Sheridan measured 30 nanograms per gram. The black mat itself measured 3,921 nanograms per gram. That's a 127-fold increase in burned plant matter from one geological instant to the next. To translate that out of the abstract, this isn't the chemical signature of a forest fire. It's the signature of an atmospheric soot-loading event, the kind of fire that turns noon into midnight across a continent. The carbon isotope ratios from inside the layer make this stranger. At sites in Belgium, Mexico, Spain, Syria, the United Kingdom, and the United States, the soot inside the black mat returns a delta-13C soot value averaging negative 22.26 per mil, with a tight standard deviation of 2.5. The samples are continents apart. They were burned at different latitudes, in different ecosystems, on different soils. They shouldn't produce statistically identical chemistry. Ordinary localized wildfires create scatterplots. Their isotopic signatures vary with the species of vegetation that burned, the moisture content, the temperature, the wind conditions, the season. The black mat doesn't produce a scatterplot. It produces a single tight cluster. In the impact hypothesis interpretation, the uniformity of that signature requires something extraordinary. A continental-scale atmospheric canopy burn in which the entire forest envelope of multiple regions combusts at temperatures and rates high enough to homogenize the chemistry of the resulting soot. The mainstream side reading is that ordinary terrestrial C3 plant matter can produce values in this range without requiring a single event. The proponents argue the uniformity, not the values themselves, is what can't be explained by ordinary fires. That uniformity has been the strongest single piece of forensic evidence the impact case has ever had. For nearly a decade, that evidence had a partner: the platinum spike. In 2013, a team led by Mikhail Petayev at Harvard analyzed an ice core from the Greenland GISP-2 project at the layer corresponding to the onset of the Younger Dryas, approximately 12,800 years ago. They found a sharp anomaly in platinum concentration. Platinum is rare in the Earth's crust. It's enriched in meteoritic and cometary material by orders of magnitude. The interpretation was straightforward at the time. A fragment of a cosmic impactor had vaporized in the atmosphere, distributing its trace metals across the ice sheet. The platinum was the smoking gun, The black mat was the burn pattern. The bones were the victims. The case against the comet was effectively closed for most public audiences, even as the academic literature continued to contest it. In 2025 and 2026, the case reopened, and the new evidence doesn't exonerate the comet by accident. It systematically dismantles the chemistry that pointed to it. The reopening came from a multidisciplinary team tracking the geochemical profile of the boundary. Their target was the geochemistry of the platinum spike itself. The first piece of forensic chemistry they ran was a simple one. They looked for iridium. Iridium is the element that the Cretaceous-Paleogene boundary layer is famous for, the chemical fingerprint that confirmed the asteroid impact that ended the dinosaurs. Iridium is the literal cosmic calling card of an extraterrestrial impactor. It travels with platinum. When a meteoric body delivers platinum to Earth's surface, it delivers iridium in a predictable ratio. The Greenland ice core platinum spike, the team reported, has no iridium signature in the ratio it should. The element that would prove the platinum came from space is essentially absent. That's the first piece of the alibi. The second is the chemical match. The team compared the geochemistry of the spike to gas condensates from submarine and subglacial fissure eruptions, the kind of slow, sustained volcanic event that occurs periodically in the North Atlantic when magma vents directly into water or ice. The match was specific, not a vague resemblance, but a measurable similarity in the isotope ratios and trace element pattern. Subglacial fissure eruptions produce hyper-concentrated platinum aerosols through a thermodynamic mechanism specific to magma-ice interaction. When superheated magma vents directly into an ice sheet, the explosive vaporization fractionates the metallic content of the lava in a way that enriches the resulting plume with platinum, but not iridium. The chemistry is consistent. The geography is consistent. Iceland sits at the right latitude to deliver its eruption plumes to the Greenland ice sheet on the prevailing winds. The platinum spike, in this reinterpretation, has a terrestrial fingerprint. The third piece is the chronology. The platinum signal in the GISP2 ice core lasts approximately 14 years. A cosmic impact is an instantaneous event. The fallout from a vaporized impactor wouldn't be deposited as a layer 14 years thick. It would deposit as a band of weeks or months. Updated dating of the ice layers also moved the platinum signal 45 years after the younger Dryas cooling had already begun. This is the chronological anchor that breaks the case completely. The weapon was fired 45 years after the victim was already freezing. Whatever the platinum spike records, it can't be the trigger of the climate event it was supposed to have caused. This is what a forensic case looks like when the lead suspect's alibi holds up. The comet didn't deliver that platinum to that ice. Something on Earth did, and the chemistry now points to Iceland. What this leaves the investigation with is something more interesting than a single new suspect. It leaves the case open in a way that allows for a synthesis the original four-suspect lineup never permitted. And the synthesis is grounded in a real mechanism that the geological literature has been quietly documenting for decades. The mechanism is called glacial isostatic adjustment. When a massive ice sheet sits on the Earth's crust for tens of thousands of years, it depresses the rock beneath it. When that ice sheet retreats, the crust rebounds upward. The rebound isn't subtle. Iceland is currently uplifting at measurable rates as its remaining glaciers thin. Greenland is doing the same. The paleo record shows that volcanic activity in deglaciating regions increases substantially during the rebound phase. The redistribution of mass off the surface allows pressurized magma chambers to vent more easily. The end of the last ice age was a period of extreme mass redistribution. The Laurentide ice sheet alone was losing thousands of cubic kilometers of mass per century. The North Atlantic was a region under tectonic stress. The synthesis this evidence permits isn't that the comet killed the megafauna, or that the climate did, or that the volcano did. The synthesis is that the comet hypothesis and the climate hypothesis and the volcanic hypothesis aren't competing suspects in a stable case. They're sequential dominoes in a single chain reaction, a trigger event, possibly a localized cosmic airburst that doesn't leave a crater, possibly a sudden meltwater pulse from the breaking of an ice dam. That trigger initiates rapid mass redistribution across the North Atlantic system. The mass redistribution accelerates crustal rebound. The rebound activates Icelandic volcanic fissures. The fissures deliver platinum aerosols and sulfate atmospheric loading to the Greenland ice. The atmospheric loading completes the disruption of the Atlantic meridional overturning circulation that the meltwater pulse had begun. The thermohaline shutdown crashes the climate. The combined firestorms and the new cold finish the megafauna. The black mat is the chemical signature of a planet collapsing across multiple coupled systems in the span of years to decades. This isn't the comet hypothesis. It isn't the climate hypothesis. It's the model the new forensic chemistry permits when the suspects are no longer being treated as alternatives, but as parts of a single linked event. The crime isn't a murder by one perpetrator. The crime is an Earth system domino collapse. The two remaining classical suspects from the original lineup, the Pleistocene overkill hypothesis, which holds that the Clovis hunters drove the megafauna to extinction, and the hyperdisease hypothesis, which proposes a continent-scale epidemic. They don't survive the chronology either. Both require the megafauna to have been already in decline before the boundary. The black mat documents the disappearance as instantaneous in geological terms. Neither hunters nor pathogens can produce a 127-fold spike in atmospheric soot. Neither can synchronize species loss across an entire continent in the same 5-centimeter sediment band. They remain in the file as contributory factors. They can't be the primary cause. The mass extinction event at the end of the Pleistocene is real. The younger, Dryas climate transition is real. The black mat is real. What killed the mammoths is no longer best explained by a single comet. The evidence now points to a coupled cascade, and the platinum that once seemed to prove the cosmic impactor instead may record the moment the ice sheets uncorked the volcanoes beneath them. The mass extinction event at the end of the Pleistocene is real. The younger Dryas climate transition is real. The black mat is real. What killed the mammoths is no longer best explained by a single comet. The evidence now points to a couple cascade, and the platinum that once seemed to prove the cosmic impactor instead may record the moment the ice sheets uncorked the volcanoes beneath them. This is the world's longest open case. As of 2026, the case file just got rewritten. The lead suspect has an alibi. A new mechanism is on the table, and the detectives aren't finished. The dirt has more to say.